Hi, this is Paul Hoffer, and I am making this podcast for this week's forum in ancient philosophy. The title of my podcast is Syzygy, Syzygy. The prompt for this week asks us to pick a theme or concept from all the reading we've done so far and talk about a particular question that is drawn out for us. What are we interested in? What do we want to look at more closely? There's an old joke. He's a poet and doesn't even know it. In taking the 2 philosophy classes this summer, for me the joke is more like I philosophize even if I'm not wise. As I go through the readings, I see more clearly that we all are philosophers. We all do philosophy, whether we know it or not. It's just as Plato notes in the Republic that some people are better philosophers than others. Some people are meant to be philosophers, but we all are better for studying it. If we have a sense of wonder about the world around us, as well as the people and creatures we share in this beautiful earth, we are philosophers. And as Mortimer Adler wrote in his book Aristotle for Everyone, even children are born to be philosophers. Every time a child asks the question why, every time a child plays a game, 20 questions, they are doing philosophy, even if they don't know they're doing it. It is when we stop asking that why question, that is when we lose that sense of wonder about the world and the people in it. We no longer are on a journey we call life, but we're merely wanderers in the wilderness, lost with no way out. It is no longer a question of whether we see the trees or see the forest through the trees. We don't even see the trees. We just see the ground beneath our feet as we trod aimlessly through the wilderness. In the din of competing ideas and the cacophony of isms, this and that, other things, materialism, communism, socialism, capitalism, it seems that we lost the capacity for silence, that capacity to ask that why question, to have that sense of wonder about the world around us. We are so focused on dividing ourselves and each other into camps, Republican versus Democrat, conservative versus progressive, pro-Trump versus never Trump, that we no longer see the things that bind us and unite us. We only see the things that divide us. What we've lost sight of is that ancient philosophers were able to discover in the notion and balance of Syzygy, a notion that talks about the relatedness of things, whether they are alike or opposite. The question of the one and the many, the question of the dimensions of human activity, the making, the doing, the thinking that we see in the dialogues and in the Republic and the artisans, the guardians, and the philosophers. The activity of the pre-Socratics in studying nature and trying to understand the questions first and then attempt to answer them by looking at nature. We see that in Aristotle and so far with the categories and his metaphysics from chapter 5 about how he attempts to come up with a systemized way of looking at things. The difference between essence and accidents, the notion of substance, the 4 causes, etc. I apologize for acting like a kettle of turkey buzzers kettling around a carcass, but I guess in thinking about, reflecting on what kinds of things I want to have answered, I first need to understand what the questions are that we need to ask. What our readings seem to be showing us is that our modern society has lost that childlike wonder that causes us to ask the why questions. Instead, for us in our modern scientific society, with everything already all thought out, is how. How do we do this? How do we solve this problem? How? Never why. And the thing that I'm interested in is what I can take out of this class to help others to recapture that sense of wonder that the Greek philosophers seem to have, that we seem to see in all the readings that we've done so far. Anyways, blessings to you all, many regards, and look forward to seeing you in the forums.